goodness, Mr. White, to the end of the term, can I ask, how are you?
I'm very well, Mrs. Angel. Great to be speaking to you today in the last week of term for some very lucky people, and the second to last week of term for others.
For other less lucky Southern Hemisphere folk.
Yes, Southern Hemisphere folk, yes. I'm
Well
one
done.
of them, and I also am one who doesn't get holidays for another week and a half. However, when holidays finally do arrive, I will get 3 weeks of them.
3 glorious weeks,
Yes.
Indeed. In 48 hours, that is me and my people, and in 1 week and 48 hours, that is you.
Yep.
So we are very worthy of such time off, and just a reminder to all those teachers out there that you've got this, and
Yep.
all great things do come to an end. So it's okay. You can get this. You can do your reporting. You can do your marking. You've got it.
Yep.
You can do your reporting, and then the end is nigh. I want to flick straight to just a little of what not to do, because sometimes we need to hear these things just to know that make better life choices. So let's don't be like this guy.
I have so much work I got to do tonight. But am I going to start right now? No. I'm not going to start anytime soon. And that's because I leave the big jobs up to future me. Now, future me is the same person as present me. But a few hours have gone by. Some time has passed. And I already know what you're thinking. But Griffin, you're still the same person. Isn't future you going to want to procrastinate too? Absolutely. But if I can successfully lie to myself, I can push my inevitable panic attack from this afternoon all the way until the middle of the night when they're supposed to happen. Thanks, future me.
Oh,
That's sound advice.
that is the best advice to not take.
Goodness, I just had
because
flashbacks to my year 12, and I'm gonna age myself a bit here, but I remember the night before my PE cat was due, which was what they were called then. The night before my PE cat was due, I had yet to start it. It was due the next day, and Seinfeld was on. And I thought, well, I'm going to start after Seinfeld. Yeah, absolutely. And then a film was on, and I think if I'm right, it was the Blues Brothers. So I thought, wow, it's a Blues
You
Brothers.
are dating yourself.
James Brown, John Lee Hooker. What you going to do?
Great movie. Great movie.
Look, it's a few years after Blues Brothers came out, but, mid-90s, Seinfeld's on. And proceeded to get, I think, a B+ on that cat. And I still to this day get, oh, wow, these things happen. I still get a bit of grief from my mates who are in that class and were surprised that I managed to pull out a B+. But there we go.
Impressive.
I ended up where I wanted to be anyway. Teaching.
Living the dream as a teacher, exactly. Now, also able to procrastinate doing your marking and reporting. You're like right back in that same spot.
Yeah. Present Mr. White really doesn't like past Mr. White.
Yep.
In many for many reasons.
Thanks, future me.
Thanks, future me. That's great. I like that. I like that one. I like the earnestness with which he delivered that. He felt it. He was really there, and that uplifting music, inspiring, really inspiring.
Absolutely.
It's a well crafted. What is it? A TikTok? Or is it a meme? What do you call that?
A meme. It was a TikTok. The talking of the tick was just memeing all over the place, all over. Oh gosh, it's awkward just how with it we are. Actually, you know what? Perfect segue, because I had this awesome conversation with my kid the other day, and he, after I watched this little TikTok, this lady is all over the lingo, and we can all learn a thing or two from her. There's so much we can learn from This is Lessons with Lillard, and my God, they are lessons with Lillard. So my advice to everyone right now is do your marking, do your reporting, and then once it's done, talk to your students like this. Enjoy.
I just wrote this morning and remember it stepping in last minute. So are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon and welcome. I am Mrs. Lillard. I was asked last minute to step in and speak today at promotion. And to be honest, at first I was surprised. But then I remembered I'm Sigma and that hit different, bro. I have some tea for you. Sometimes in life, you feel skibbity Ohio for no reason, and it's giving cringe. Your hair could be herring, and you know your outfit ate, but you could still be mid. You're sus, and you know you need a glow up. That's because Riz comes from within, no cap. So besties, go forth and go off. Don't be basic. You are the goat of your own life, and it slaps. Bet.
So
I didn't notice, for those of you who are viewing us, like we do a podcast, but it's also up on YouTube. I didn't see any translation at the bottom there. I felt like I was watching an Italian film or something.
wonderful.
No?
So I thought it would be great if you could translate that for us now.
Ah, okay. There was something about Riz comes from within, and I believe Riz is wiggity whack slang for charisma. And I was impressed that instead of using the term swag or slay, she used the term eight, which I think is a very, very modern term, and I applaud her usage of it. I also liked her...
all I can say there is bet. That's right. Carry on.
Bets.
You are totally Sigma right now, so
I like to. Well,
you got
that
this.
threw me. That I'm going to have to come back to that one. But I think my favourite one was, even though my hair is herring, I thought that was fantastic. I really like that. Look, you don't need to be that adept at context clues to pick up what that was all about. Yeah. And while she did say that her outfit ate, she still felt mid. And I think I can work that out as well. I don't mind a beer, but I'm often disappointed when someone puts in my hand a mid strength, and that's how I feel. I feel a bit mid, not quite there. Yeah. I don't know what else did I miss? What are the other terms?
I want to know what do you think that Skibbity Ohio?
That's right, Skibbity Ohio.
What's Skibbity Ohio? Talk to me about that.
Skibbity Ohio and feeling cringe.
Yeah.
Feel the cringe, was it? Skibbity Ohio. Yeah, right. I reckon that's top of the world, feeling good.
Skibbity Ohio is actually when you're feeling as low as it can go. So apparently you don't want to feel Skibbity Ohio. That's bad.
Well, come on. Skibbity Ohio sounds great. Yo, Skibbity Ohio. No? Skibbity Ohio is bad.
Skibbity Ohio. You don't want to ever feel Ohio. Apparently, and to our friends in Ohio, g'day, mate. And
can I have that used in a sentence, please?
Oh, I might have that ready for you next week. And
what's the origin of the term?
The origin. The Latin origin? Oh, geez, I'm not. I don't know that was going to be Latin. There is actually this awesome TikToker who breaks down the middle school language and talks about its origins. And so the skibbity. There's a good little he talks about skibbity, and skibbity is largely a filler word. Where if you're not sure, so you say skibbity. Apparently, and so it actually means nothing, but they're now starting to try to give skibbity a meaning, and very quickly this middle school language can evolve and it can start to derive meaning, but what I can promise you, it is never derived from the Latin language, ever. ever. Okay.
I think I can get a little bit of meaning then. Okay, so skibbity is a filler, but Ohio, okay, I can see that, and I know that I'm not American. I'm not very au fait with American terminology, nor am I au fait with the states in much detail, but I do feel that Ohio is considered a state that is mid. Is that fair?
I know.
Is that fair?
That's,
Very,
okay,
very
so,
flat, very, very potato-y.
so in speaking with my own personal middle
Was that
schooler,
Idaho?
in my
It might be
middle,
Idaho.
or maybe, I don't know, but my middle schooler that I birthed myself, he said, he said that Skibbity Ohio is Skibbity Ohio. Like he's like, so look up Ohio Bandit, and then
So there's a reference. Okay.
there's a reference to the Ohio Bandit. I encourage you all to not, if you're a teacher right now, just do the job. All right, do the job. Do not look up what the Ohio Bandit. You do not need to know what that guy looks like or what he did. All right.
Second.
No, that's right. You've got marking to do. You've got reporting to do. You do not
Podcasts are recorded to record.
you do not need
Bandit,
to look
you
up
say.
the Ohio Bandit because you don't have time for this. You've got too many other things to actually do right now. So let's talk us through what the. So it's okay, Mr. White's
No.
done it for you.
No, we'll leave it out. Is it the dude with the goggly eyes?
It really is the dude with the goggly eyes, and he was doing something butt sniffing or something weird.
Tickling, I believe.
Tickling, butt tickling. Yes. He's very mid, this guy. A fair bit cringe, and his hair is definitely hairing, and so and he is anything but Sigma.
He's
So
not herring. He has no hair. There's
No.
hair. Not
no,
herring.
and in fact,
Okay, Sigma. Take me through Sigma.
well, this is the thing. So my middle schooler, so I had this great conversation, probably one of my best conversations with my son, so we watched this and then we had a real conversation, which was good. Like I did get him first. We sat down to dinner. My husband, Luke, he was off at his basketball grand final, of which he lost. And then,
Lukey.
so my middle schooler and I, we were sitting down to dinner together. So I sat him down and I said, all right, well, it's time to talk. And he's like, what?
Shit,
Like,
what did I
yeah.
do?
Well, yeah. And I said, you know what we need to talk about?
What do we need to talk about, Mum?
Well, we just sat with that for a little bit. And he's like, dinner? Like, come on, mate. You know,
Yourself in. Don't
Come
take yourself
on.
in. Let them
Don't-
come at you.
don't make this harder than it needs to be. Let's talk. Just talk
That's
to
cruel.
me.
That's cruel.
Just let's talk to me. It's just you and me, right?
Bring the Riz. Come on.
And then I did start dropping I did say just one Sigma to one Sigma, and at that stage he lost it because and then we watched Lessons with Lizard, and it was good. He broke it all down for me, which was wonderful. He did point me in the direction of the Ohio Bandit. I don't know if that's actually what it is, but when I said it's Skibbity Ohio, I was like, "What is Skibbity Ohio?" He's like, "Let's Google Skibbity. Let's Google Ohio Bandit." We had a look at that. I was like, "What's Skibbity?" He's like, "It's just nothing." That said, not the Latin language. Anyway, so it's a complicated. What?
Well, Sigma is a Greek letter, is it not? It's also a car make, or a car model. I don't understand its usage in this context.
He couldn't break it down. See, when I thought that Sigma was not good, and he actually told me that Sigma's like alpha, but you don't ever want to be beta. So you want to be alpha or Sigma,
right.
but you don't want to be beta.
Yeah, it makes sense. But okay, so that's like saying you don't want to be A. Sorry, you want to be A, you don't want to be B, but you're happy being K.
Exactly, but
a bit lower down.
like, you're trying to make sense of this.
I know.
This is a problem.
I'm using my Gen X brain.
Exactly, logic
Is
to
that
try
what I
to
am?
break
What's
this
Gen X?
down. You got to let that go. You just got your
Right.
let your riz,
Gotta
let
go
your
with feels.
riz just
Gotta go with the
yeah.
feels.
Go with your
I-
feels.
I like the
And you know what?
looks.
Your hair is hairing, and you know what? You're like, you've got Sigma, Alpha kind of feels happening now. So just be like Skibbity cool.
Dudo.
Anyway, Skibbity. Give us a wisecrack is all I need right now because I got nothing. I got Skibbity nothing. So let's go Let's go to a wisecrack.
Skibbity-doo. All right.
Whitey's Weekly Wisecracks. What do you got, Mr. White?
That's a good one. Yeah, so we're talking facts in class, and we had some time to kill. And normally, what I do at the end of the lesson, if it's a geography lesson, I'll ask them a geography question, and whoever gets it right can leave a minute early. Don't tell anyone, particularly pre-recess or lunch. That goes down really well. But this time, I thought, no, I want to learn something. I want you to tell me some facts. Tell me some things that you know. That are not attached to any context or anything. Just dazzle me with facts. And there were some really good ones, but I must admit, I wasn't bowled over. I was not bowled over. Most of them I knew, pretty, pub trivia style stuff. I go, okay, I've got one for you guys. All right. Almost all garden gnomes have a red hat. It's a little gnome fact. You like that one?
Well,
no, you don't. If you,
I feel like with your Sigma class that would have fallen quite mid.
mid.
I can only imagine how it went. But it was good.
Same as they all go. The kids who get an A laugh, and the kids who don't.
Exactly.
It's self-fulfilling. Like it's it's not necessarily cause and effect, but there's some correlation there.
Definitely. Well, but ain't that the truth? It's definitely that time of term where it's whatever will be. You laugh when you need to, and you keep it together when you don't. I've got a funny story. Well, I've got a story from a teacher. It's always a good one. Teaching tale.
Very good.
Teaching tales. Dun, dun, dun.
To be honest, it is a bit shit. But I
was gonna get you to just reverse over what you said before when you went. I've got a funny one. I've got a teaching tale. You sort of backed over those. It's like,
stick with me. You can tell me if it's shit or not. All right.
What signal you are giving us here?
So this teacher,
I'm riveted, listener. I'm riveted.
This teacher calls a parent. All right. Ring, 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 ring. I'm going to say, hello, Mr. Smith. Hello, Mr. Smith. It's Mrs. Roberts here. Mrs. Roberts. Look, I'm just calling about, obviously, Johnny. I'm calling about Johnny. Do you have 5 minutes to talk? And Mrs. Smith says, absolutely. Yep. What's up? And I said, look, there's just, there's been a couple of behaviours today that I need to talk you through. And then Mrs. Smith says, look, actually, I'm just on the toilet at the moment. Can I give you a call back in a couple of minutes? And the teacher, Mrs. Roberts, says, oh, thinking in her head, you did say that you were available to talk, but no, now apparently you're not because you're on the toilet. So, sure, no worries. So they hang up and he calls back in about 7 to 10 minutes. And then I'd say a shitty amount of time if we're actually getting into the real math of it. And then they're able to have that real conversation about little Johnny and his behaviour that day. Ever had that conversation, Mr. White?
I thought that was the start. That was it is good. It is good. Is that true?
Like, honestly, this story couldn't be...
Firstly...
Hold it. It couldn't be more true unless it happened at my own school.
Who's taking calls from...
the toilet from their teacher because they're calling from a school line. They're calling from a school line and it is coming up supposedly, like if it was a school line that was maybe Mastery Schools Australia, if it was Mastery Schools Australia, it would come up. And like if you've saved that in your phone, you've received and I can assure you this parent had received a phone call from this school before, all right?
Or even if it didn't come up and it came up as silent number, who's answering an unknown number
But
on the dot?
do you have to have
Unbelievable.
number two? Yes.
Unbelievable. Now,
Yes.
I saw that you were struggling with the maths around that, about how long it takes. Did you hear about the constipated mathematician who lost his calculator?
But I can't say that
He had to
I
work
did.
it out with a pencil. So that's incredible. I can't believe. I mean, you tell jokes about that sort of thing. You know, in real life, people are answering the phone. Well,
So it's like couldn't
Oh.
be more true. I can assure you. I could like if I had to counsel the teacher through it myself, I couldn't be telling you a more true story. I can promise you.
do you reckon we're becoming a bit too familiar with our technology?
With our teachers, are we becoming a bit too familiar with our teachers? Yes. Yes, Mr.
Yes.
White, I do believe
Yes.
we are becoming a bit too
Yes.
familiar with our teachers. If you are answering phone calls
Goodness me.
mid number twos,
So-
mid number twos.
You know what you say in that situation. Sorry, I've just got to finish some paperwork and I'll get back to you. That's what you need to do.
There's so many things. Like you just like when they say, "Do you have 5 minutes to talk?" You say, "No, I don't. I'm just in the middle of something right now.
Yes.
Can I give you a call back in 5?"
Yes.
Like you don't say because the teacher. I mean, supposedly. I mean, I wasn't there, but the teacher may have said that, so are you free to talk? And they said yes. And then they said it's just about Johnny's behaviour, like some things. And then they asked for just a few more minutes and then gave that reason that, well, actually, they said they were on the toilet. I'm just on the toilet and I'll call you back in a few minutes.
It is beautiful because of how many mistakes this person made. How many social faux pas were made. Right? And I am desperately hoping this is a public toilet too. I really am, because if that's the case, that's an extra level. That's an extra level, and I appreciate it. But there are some decisions that this person has made that they think is appropriate, and they need schooling. And baby, I ain't fooling. I need to be taught a few things.
So can we talk, like, if you're a parent and you're listening to this podcast and you're not a teacher, well, bless you, thank you. But
Yes.
so I'm assuming you have a student. Talk us through what are the major lessons to be learned here?
Well,
Ring,
firstly-
ring, ring, ring. I see the school's calling, and I'm on the toilet doing a number 2.
Actually,
What's the first thing you do, Mr. White?
well, now that you put it that way, the first thing I would do would be panic. Actually, no, I take it back. I think this person acted perfectly appropriately. Perfectly appropriately. Because if I had and my child's in grade 1, so if I got a phone call from the school, not an email, not a text, a phone call, I would say, oh, geez, something's happened. I want to know now that my daughter's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then having answered it and found out that everything's, there is not a time-sensitive issue here,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe, it's best to just be honest and say, hey, I'm on the toilet. Can I, we're taught to be honest. I'm backtracking. I agree. I think this person has acted with the utmost
Integrity.
social
This
integrity.
person walks their talk. Like they did not.
Yeah, look, I'm happy to be persuaded, but I was initially I was ardently against this person's actions, and now I'm feeling, actually, no, I can see where this is going. I can see the logic behind this, and I appreciate the honesty with which they dealt with the situation. I don't know. I think they probably, okay, if I were being nitpicky, I probably would have sugarcoated the reason. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm as you said, in the middle of something.
Well, I would also. I want to look you dead in the eye, Mr. White, and I want to tell you. Oh gosh, actually, I'm not going there. I'm not looking you dead in the eye and telling you any truths. But I would definitely have lied in that situation.
Yeah,
I would have.
cool.
But I would definitely have said I am in the middle of something.
Yes. No, I think I would have as well. I think I
Yes.
would have lied as well. But I'm not saying that it's right. It's wrong because I wouldn't have done it. I'm saying it's right because I don't have the guts to do it. I don't have I don't have the intestinal fortitude to be that honest.
The
to someone
intestinal fortitude.
who is in a serious relationship with my child and educating them and shaping them. I don't want to lie to this person. Is that not a perspective that is worthy of entertaining? I think so.
Oh, so we're actually saying that this is actually the most beautiful, deep, real relationship between a teacher and a parent. This is the village that is educating a child in real time, that I am willing to be part of this village, even mid.
Do we not?
I'm a mid a poo.
Okay, you're okay. You know, we get it.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you this: do we not tell our students to be honest even when it hurts?
Oh my gosh, we do.
And is not the most utmost. You know, when you grow up, you realise that the worst pain is not physical pain. You start realising, there are many other different kinds of pains that are far more painful.
So much more
Surely
painful.
that's one of them. I commend this person's bravery, their honesty, and their forthrightness.
Well, you know what? I want to raise a glass right now, actually. I want to raise a glass to Mr. Smith, who was the parent on the toilet during that moment, who was willing.
Yes, Smitty. Well done, Smudge.
And particularly to the teacher, Miss Roberts, obviously, who was able to receive that very raw and real feedback that, hey, we just need 5 to 7 minutes to finish this job, and then let's have a real conversation about what's happening for Johnny. And you know what? I feel like world peace is around the corner. If we can all just admit when we're answering the phone call mid shit, and we can just
to coin a phrase,
we can just own it. Like there is a beauty. There is a beauty in that honesty and that acceptance.
There's an earthiness to it.
There is a real.
Yeah.
There is. Yeah.
I think so. Look, are we not in the business of stripping back the layers of the layers of historical and sometimes cultural foibles and things that get in the way of connection, human connection?
Well, I can assure you, this teacher felt connected to every element that was happening in this family home at that moment. They felt really connected. Some might say too connected, but I would say, my question now is, were they connected enough? Like, if we want to have a real conversation in time about real issues, it doesn't matter where you are. Like, it doesn't matter where you're receiving that information. It's just important to just have it in your rawest moment, just talking it out.
Let's tear this back a bit. I mean, I can think of many, many, many times that I've observed people on their phones while at the urinal, or I've never, in the men's room, absolutely.
This is.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun at the footy because and I've seen it happen once, and it was great. But you know that there is an outside chance, particularly with the footy, and it's about 3/4 time, and people have had a few beers. You know there is a chance that they are going to drop that phone, and I have seen it happen at the footy, and it remains one of the funniest experiences that I've ever observed in my life. It was great for everyone else except for him.
Absolutely,
and I reckon it would be funny for the person on the other end of the line too.
I wish.
I'm not saying. Look, this is a half-baked perspective that I'm concocting here, but I think there's merit in this. I think there's some more discussion to be had. And my initial reaction, I think, was I think it was the reaction that I thought that I should have. And I think we need to look at each other and say, hang on a second, are we not all human? Do we not all do this? Can we not engage each other in a position? If you're comfortable doing it, why should you be uncomfortable?
Well, that's wonderful, and I'll let our cleaner who comes in and cleans our toilets regularly, let her know that as well, because recently we had a toilet. We had a toilet blockage, and usually in a school it would be because somebody has put a toilet roll down there, but it was not the toilet roll that blocked that toilet. It was a
phone.
No, it wasn't.
no,
it wasn't a phone. It was a very natural. It was a very natural dropping that just.
It's a coat
clogged.
hanger job. Yeah. Yeah. I used to know someone. I used to know someone who lived in a share house, and he lived with a couple of big guys, and they used to leave a coat hanger on a hook next to the toilet. If you've lasted this long on our podcast, well done for you, and we appreciate it. But the image of that I can't get out of my head.
You know, it's the end term. You hang in there. Hang in there.
We're all delirious. Propriety's gone out the door. There's no question about it.
Absolutely. Control your controllables is all I can say.
That's right. Do that.
And honestly, like that, when that cleaner said she's never seen anything like that before.
Powered by Riverside.
Always a pleasure, Mrs. Angel.
Good evening, Mr. White.
Evening, Mrs. Angel.